Well, is this thing on? Oh, it is on. I love how I know so many of you in here, and I can see none of you right now, so this should be a lot of fun. Well, excited to kick off the last block of the day here. What an incredible event this has been. It's wonderful to see so many friends, so many new faces, and just incredibly impressed with the Boys Club time and time again. So maybe just a quick round of applause for these amazing human beings that are hosting us here today. So, my name is Jess. I am the founder of Seed Club. Seed Club is a consumer venture network. We're big believers that crypto networks are going to change the game for creators and human beings, and that we kind of want to back people who are actually building things that people will use and hopefully make some money from as real human beings rather than just those building the deep tech in the space. And today I'm joined by three founders who, our question today is, what the fuck is this new consumer crypto internet you talk about? I think we've changed that title 3 or 4 times, but ultimately, the best way to describe that, I think, is by showing, not telling. And these are three builders who are deep in the building of things that I think many of you have used or will use in the future. And so hopefully through the discussions of what you guys are actually doing today, people will have a better insight onto maybe what the future looks like. So today I'm joined with Vibhu, who's from Drip. I've got Jessica from MintStars and Corrine from Zora. Hello. So maybe let's just start off. I could try to describe what you guys are up to, but maybe you can, in as few words as possible, give the audience an insight into what you're building. Let's start off with you.
Sure. So I'm curious, though, how many of you have heard of Drip or used Drip? It's really hard to see.
Can't see anybody.
Okay, so all of you, I guess? Okay. So Drip is a free collectibles platform built on Solana. I would venture to say it's the largest consumer app in all of crypto, maybe the fastest growing as well. People subscribe to creators for free, and creators reward them with collectibles like art, like music, like videos, and other things that they make. And fans give back to support those independent creative endeavors. Yeah, we were founded in October 2022, and kind of built through the bear market into like this incredible thing that's happening on Solana these days. Yeah.
My next. Hi everyone, I'm Jessica. I'm the co-founder of MintStars. And MintStars is a sex-positive content platform that protects adult content creators from financial discrimination and censorship. As some of you may or may not know, 2/3 of adult content creators have had a bank account or a payment app shut down. And as a result, they're super reliant on traditional platforms that take 20% or more of their earnings and don't protect them from chargebacks, censorship, and piracy, especially censorship from the credit card companies. So we use crypto-based payments to protect them from that censorship, and we also enable them to earn more through posting collectible limited edition content that their fans can resell with the creator earning royalties.
I'm Corrine. I'm working at Zora, and I'm running editorial and events. And I'm essentially like working on the craft of narrative and, you know, helping people onboard and mint and make it creating on the internet fun again.
Awesome. So, we're talking about, you got some fans in the audience, I like that. Talking about this new internet, and I think the word that seems to be emerging right now to describe this new internet is on-chain. So the idea of building on-chain versus building off-chain, maybe a year and a half ago that was maybe framed as building in Web 2 versus building in Web 3. So I think that the belief is that there's some net new opportunities or abilities that we can unlock by building on-chain. And I think sort of diving into what building on-chain unlocks for you and your product might be a helpful way to sort of explain or at least elucidate this new internet. So I'm curious, what does building on-chain allow you to do at Drip?
Sure, yeah. So the two things that we put on-chain is we put collectibles on-chain. We've minted 130 million collectibles on Solana since last year. And those are kind of like these tiny vessels of content that are pick up all the properties of blockchains, including censorship resistance, including composability, and obviously tradability. And then on the other side is payments. And so we also pay all of our creators, in our case, in USDC. But what's really amazing about payments on Solana is you can really pay at the tiniest increments. So users subscribe to creators for effectively 1 cent per week, which is like an increment that you just cannot have with a credit card or any kind of traditional financial rails. But for us, we're totally okay to pay creators in these very, very tiny amounts, and plus they have instantaneous cash flow because it's crypto, as long as they can find an off-ramp. So yeah, I would say securing the content on-chain, the provenance, composability, all that kind of stuff, and then payments is the other part of it.
For us, the most important thing that's on chain is payments, because the traditional financial system has a lot of bottlenecks, which are used to censor adult content creators, even though what they do is completely illegal. But because the banks and credit card companies are worried about liability and their reputations and their stigma associated with the industry, they either ban adult content creators from using their services altogether, or they charge them super high fees, which come out of their pay cuts. And so for us, our goal is to be as accessible as possible to people with no crypto knowledge whatsoever. We enable fans to pay with a normal card payment. Creators can cash out straight to their bank accounts. But when they actually make a purchase, we convert it to USDC so that we're able to tap into different merchant categories and then able to tap into the permissionless payment system so that fans can pay creators without being blocked by those traditional systems.
Yeah, I think Zora's whole mission is making creating on the internet as simple and fun as it can possibly be. It's very difficult to archive stuff and actually receive value for your work. So, you know, just protocol rewards at Zora are an incredible direction to take. And I think simplifying the language of crypto is a huge goal at Zora, because if you try to explain crypto to anyone that's not in it, you probably know it's just too much. So I think just using simple words is Zora's goal, and you know, just trying to make it as simple as possible is really important.
So I think there's this meme that there are like no users in crypto other than maybe people punting meme coins. We got some meme coin believers out here. Oh, there's more of you than that. I know that for sure. So I think we have sort of, you know, some early stage products here, some that are maybe a bit further along. I wonder if you can maybe speak to the scale of either user numbers or give us some sense of like the realness of the people that are actually using these products. I know you have like insane daily active users on Drip.
Yeah, so we, last week, I think we averaged around 140,000 DAUs, around 400,000 monthly. Qualifying to be a DAU on Drip is a lot of science, as anything with on-chain can be simulated or faked or things like that. So we take it really seriously. We have we've had a huge focus on fraud, because what we do is give people free money every single day on the platform. That's pretty much what's happening. And so, like, you know, of course, there's like many people that are trying to game that. And so over the last year, I think I want to say that we've banned like 2.5 million accounts from Drip, people who are attempting to take advantage of the system. It's a constant daily thing. We have some of the best fraud engineering, I think, in all of crypto. But we have a relentless focus on data and growth. We have a big partnership with Phantom, which many people find out about Drip through them. Then I think last week we announced we're the first like app partner of WorldCoin as well. And so you can now sign up through WorldCoin if you're Sybiled and get on Drip instantaneously. So we're always looking for like new places to bring new folks on as well.
Drip is my bull case for points. I think a lot of people, if you're deep in the crypto world or maybe have some issues with points or like why aren't they tokens, but the fact that I want to go there almost on a daily basis to click and claim my drops was like a big unlock for me. I go, I don't know why I want to go do this, and you know, but I do. And so I think that's an insight in and of itself.
Yeah, Drip is a super addictive app. We've designed it to like the best mobile games out there. A lot of the way the economy works. They're not points, by the way. They're not meant to be a token, but they're like redeemable for like goods on chain. But it is like a big part of our monetization strategy.
They're as effortless as points. Maybe that's a good way to frame it for you. So Jessica, I know like there's sort of been these waves of adoption as you know you're bringing out MintStars into the market, and most recently there was some sort of political movements from one of your biggest competitors that kind of led to a wave of new creators. And I think the long-term bet here is that there's like a more authentic and real and depth of connections that people, especially working as creators themselves, are looking for from platforms. So I don't know if you want to share some of the growth or some of like the inflection points you've had over the last little while.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Some of you may know that sex workers have been some of the earliest adopters of crypto because they were forced to be. And this fits with early trends in Web 1 and basically every technology, which is that the adult industry is typically at the forefront of technological innovation. And that comes as a result of these creators and workers being kind of redlined and ghettoized on the internet and constantly having to look for new solutions. And so 35% of adult content creators already accept crypto, but one of the biggest barriers is enabling their fans to use it, because a lot of fans don't want to have to learn how to use a wallet, how to purchase Bitcoin. And so we've made it very accessible for them. And so this enabled us at the beginning of this month, when there was some very big news around OnlyFans. Allegedly, an article came out that the owner of OnlyFans had made an $11 million donation to the pro-Israel lobby, and a lot of creators who were worried about what's going on in Palestine were really upset about this and flocked away from the platform. And people were basically asking on Twitter, like, does anyone know a more sex worker-friendly platform? And people kept saying, well, have you heard about MintStars? What they're doing is really cool. And so I think positioning ourselves as like just at the forefront of innovation in the industry while also being still super accessible enabled us to capture that moment and like get 1,000 new creator signups in a week.
Let's go. MintStars is a portfolio company of C Club, so I'm very biased up here. Probably need to disclose that up here, but it's been wonderful to see that growth tick up after working so hard towards it. I'm not a shy fan of Zora. I think I've used it, worked on it, we've done a few things recently with it that some of you may be aware of or not that I won't mention here. But the thing that really kind of blows me away is this, what's happened through the rollout of, I guess, protocol rewards, referral rewards, this sort of mechanism that's kind of allowed an ecosystem to develop around the simple act of minting and sharing creative work on chain. I'm curious if you can give us a sense of sort of like the impact that's had either on bringing new users on board or maybe the amount of money or scale of the value that's been distributed through that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a game changer. You know, I use Zora to mint my iPhone photos so they don't just stay in my camera roll, and it's very fun for me. But there's collectives in Brazil that, because of unlimited mints and as basically a free mint, they can set it for a 0 ETH price point. You know, they're paying rent from their mints, and there's people that, like I heard someone that bought an iPad from what they created so they can keep creating more. And where I'd love to see that go is, you know, you hear of all, like, I'm a writer, and so there's all these issues in media today where if a site goes down, your work is lost if you wrote something for a publication and they decide to they have control of it. So I think it's really an avenue to not only make money, but also just archive your work, and I think that's the direction it should go. It's really important.
So I think this event was in many ways billed as sort of like not a crypto event. This idea that there's maybe new people who are interested in crypto coming through. My guess is that through the conversations I've had today, that most of you are already in crypto or at least somewhat crypto pilled. But I think that there's still this like obvious opportunity to reach beyond the walls that exist currently in the industry to bring new people in. And I think from the builders here on stage, there's a sense of like building tools that enable people to come in and actually earn money as a way of maybe earning your first crypto on chain rather than buying it. I'm curious from your point of view, like what are the big barriers that we need to like aggressively run at to change it from sort of purely the speculative to utility-based onboarding that we see right now into maybe a wider, hopefully fire hose of new users coming into the space? I'll start with you.
Yes, language is, I think, the greatest barrier in crypto. It's far too complicated, and I think we're engaging in spaces with each other and not expanding beyond, other creative realms. So I think it's really important to go out into the real world and talk to people, and if it's too complicated to explain your product, maybe it's the language that should be changed.
I think on and off ramping is the biggest challenge right now because banks also discriminate against crypto. The card success rates for purchasing crypto are incredibly low, which makes it very hard to enable real users, or not real users, crypto users are real users.
Thanks, Jessica.
Sort of, a little bit. To enable non-crypto native users to acquire crypto. Like, yeah, once you're in the crypto ecosystem, it's great, it's all permissionless, it's global, but getting in there is difficult and expensive. And I think there's some solutions improving on that, but I think there's a long way to go.
Fully agree with both of those points, and I would say the cultural stigma of NFTs in crypto is really, really strong in certain categories. Like if you look at art, for example, where like we have a lot of progress on chain, it's like if you go to Web 2 artists, they don't want to even talk about it or touch it. It's considered to be a scam. So I'm always, when I'm talking to a creator coming from Instagram that we're recruiting, I'm always coming from like, I have to work my way from the negative place that they kind of associate crypto with into something positive. I mean, I think every creator can agree today that they're not happy with the options they have. They're not making money from Instagram or TikTok or any of these things. So I think we share the problem, but it takes a ton of education to get them to even think about the idea of putting something on the blockchain.
What do you think changes that? Is that just more winning generally, more useful things, or is there like a broader cultural shift that needs to happen?
Personally, I think we need better products, and I think Drip is. We take that really seriously. Like better onboarding, eliminating language that's no one understands outside of our universe. I think it has to do with the content that you produce as a brand, and then the solve for everything over the next couple of years is monetization. When creators make money, they're loud about it. They tell their friends. They keep bugging them over and over and over again. You got to check this out. You got to check this out, and then you start to grow. And so I feel like as long as they're our first generation of creators are really happy, they're going to lead the way for the next set.
So I'm a big believer that tokens are like the consumer crypto product that has found product market fit, whether you like that or not. Notably, I think none of the builders up here, the products that you're building, have sort of tokens as ownership as a core intention. Some have been more public than others at saying that's definitely not the intention, though I feel that maybe it's because people are up in your DMs all the time asking for when airdrop. I'm curious what your thoughts are on tokens. Do they have a place in crypto, in the products that you're building? Are they essential to sort of this consumer adoption?
I'm happy to take that. Yeah, I think when I first learned about tokens, when we were first starting MintStars, I got really excited about it because I love the shared ownership potential. That's the area that I think in our space is most interesting. But at the same time, we were watching other adult crypto plays and saw a lot of them make big mistakes with launching tokens too soon, where the product would become all about the token, and it would be like booty coin or something like that. And then it attracted the wrong kind of users who were just there for the token, just there for the speculation and the memes.
Just there for the booty?
Except that they weren't really there for the booty.
Right, that's the problem.
They were
here,
there
yeah.
they were there for ha ha ha, this is a funny meme coin, not I'm interested in getting the content that this creator is selling. And so we really want to build a product that has a core community of real creators and their real genuine fans first, and then potentially introduce a token that can expand on the virality and the value that and be a value add rather than a distraction.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal a line from Solana. Everyone knows a guy named Mert, but he made a good point about this. Like, when you're a startup, you're searching for product market fit. When you launch a token, now you're basically reporting like a public company as a tiny team. I think there's like a lot of stress that puts on companies. It also gives a lot of false metrics. And then to the point about like making this stuff accessible, tokens are like the thing that scares people the most. Like when we talk to folks from outside, and it just introduces so much complexity. I think maybe one day we will do it, but it needs to be done in the right way, and we don't have a way to do that in crypto. Like every token that's tied to utility pumps and then dumps on somebody, and until we can like fix the actual economics and like tie those things to like real revenue and things like that safely and legally, like I just don't see it as a possibility.
Do you have comments on tokens?
Not really. I mean, I think Zora's focus is, for creators and artists overall, and it's just more so aimed towards creating on chain and making really simple UX. So I feel like we're more aimed in that direction.
Yeah, and all of your products do have tokens in them, so using that language is maybe a little incorrect. I think there's probably a lot of folks in this room that are either maybe interested in joining and working in the Web3 crypto space in some way. We've obviously just come through a pretty messy few months, so I'm wondering if you maybe have any encouragement or advice or suggestions to people who might be on the fence about wanting to come in and work in this world that I think we're all so passionate about.
I think, I really think that I love the motto of this event, which is kind of building a new internet. I really feel like we finally have the tech to do it, and I think the frustration with Web 2 is at an all-time high for creators and for the business models that we have there. Now is the time to disrupt what we have and make something better, and build it on Solana.
I love it. Let's go. I know we're at time, but if you either of you wanted to say anything there, we can leave it on Vibhu's wonderful point here.
I would just say if you're intimidated, crypto needs more people like you. And I knew very, very little about crypto when we started MintStars, and that has turned out to be a big strength for us because it's meant that we are able to message to and attract people who don't know anything about crypto because we don't even know all the jargon ourselves. So we speak in normal language to people.
I love it. Ignorance is the key to adoption.
Yes, I would completely agree with that point. Look outside of this crypto bubble and talk to artists and writers, and that's the only way you're going to onboard them is by speaking their language.
Amazing, folks. Thanks for sharing your time here today, and thank you for all listening.